Gremlins. Gremlins was everywhere when I was a kid. Like, when you were preparing for this project, did you rewatch those movies?
I did actually. So originally, I watched the movie when I was pretty young, and then when I was actually going into it, I was kind of like, I should have probably known more than I did at the time. It was only until like later on in the season, not like super late, but like pretty, I'd say early on actually, I rewatched it, and then I kind of like researched and looked stuff up, and I was just like, wow, this is a very big role, and it's a lot bigger than what I imagined. So yeah.
Well, to that point, I mean, one of the things I love about Sam is so much of his like sense of adventure comes from his grandfather. Like everything that he watches his grandfather kind of do kind of opens him up to the world of like Gizmo and everything. Like, how did you want to approach Sam and kind of his role in this larger story?
So how I approached it is actually the complete opposite of actually who I am as a person. So how I was raised is that I was raised as a not in a bad way. I was raised in a way where like if you make a mistake, you have to learn from it, right? But like and so I was just kind of throwing at stuff, right? And I had to develop my own common sense. Like, hey, if I jump off this roof, what'll happen? And my parents are like, well, find out. And I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't jump off this roof, right? Because that'd be a pretty bad idea. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I developed. And the thing is, Sam isn't like that. Sam is really careful. Sam was sheltered, and he grew up in a sheltered environment, right? And so how I kind of had a bond with Sam is that I basically had to like grow up because he's mature, right? He's very mature for his age. I had to grow up, but then I also had to kind of just like grow down because he has to learn how to not be sheltered, and I'm already like not sheltered whatsoever, right? And so that experience was fun. It was fun to try to learn that, and in that way, I think we're similar, but still very different.
Well, with that in mind, like, was there any specific part of the character description or any line in like Z's scripts where you were like, oh, I know exactly how I'm going to approach this performance? What kind of clued you in that you would have to age down a bit, so to speak, or age up, age different.
Age different, yeah. There were a few lines, especially towards later on in filming, when he actually starts maturing even more, right? That's when I'm like, oh wow, I gotta mature even more, right? But then there's also moments where he makes mistakes like a kid would normally make, right? And so it's in that moments where I'm like, okay, I gotta go back down. I gotta go, I gotta go grow up again, right? Not saying that I am grown up. I'm still like a 3-year-old, but like, I think I'm pretty grown up.
You come off quite well in the show. This isn't your first foray into voice acting. Like, what do you find liberating about voice performance as opposed to live action?
It's a lot easier. I'll say that. You don't have to memorize your lines. I mean, it's good to have knowledge of it, right? But you don't have to memorize. The scheduling is usually a lot more lenient, right? Where it's not like you're in New York for like 3 months, but you're just like you're in the studio at your house, and you just have to go there every so often to just for 2 hours, talk to a mic by yourself and look like a madman, right? And so, yeah, I mean, it definitely is a lot easier. You don't have to worry about fittings. You don't have to worry about getting dressed. You just go and talk in a mic.
With this project, you've got Christy as the voice director. Like, how is it working with Christy and keeping that energy up? Because once this thing gets going, it gets going early. Like, it's high energy all the time.
Yeah, for sure. She was a really good voice director. It's in a way where she explained what I have to do without actually like saying what I should do, right? Like, in a few, just an example is that she's like, she doesn't say the line that I'm gonna say, but she says something that like means the same exact thing, and I just have to implement that, right? And that's why I think she's so good, because she teaches you to learn instead of just giving you the answer.
You were talking about you had seen Gremlins like way back, but had to kind of revisit it to realize how big a deal like the role and everything is. What was it, apart from that, what was it that really attracted you to this project?
Probably just the fact that I love the story. It's such a good story. The story arc is really good. The art in general is really good. The character development is really good. The character chemistry is really good. The script is really good. All in all, it's just a really good show.
The another thing that I love is that this show really does like celebrate Chinese folklore, Chinese culture in a way that maybe wasn't there in 1984. Like what aspects of Chinese culture were you really kind of excited to get to share to the rest of the world that might not know about like Bao, or might not know about like all the kind of like cool things about
Yeah,
Chinese society?
sure. I mean, there's definitely also some like, I mean, they really kind of just dabbled everything into like one thing. There's like food, there's folklore, there's different there's different like hidden meanings that like maybe like people of actual Chinese descent will notice, but like some people won't, and then they can just like educate each other. And I think that's pretty cool. Like I mean, a really obvious one is it's like the Jade Valley, right? Jade as in, you know, everybody, any Asian, knowledgeable Asian would know that jade is probably one of the best like gemstones. So that's just a pretty like, you know, blatant one, but like I mean there's other hidden stuff too that I can't really just name off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm half Korean, and if I was better prepared, I'd be wearing my jade tiger necklace. But, I'm not.
I should have been wearing red today. Gosh darn.
I know. Well, you're the tiger's over, so I'm out. Anyway, what was it about? What was it about the scripts that you really dug? Because Z, I mean, like this comes from a huge place of passion for him. Like, what was it that you really appreciated about this, the story and your character in general?
Probably just like the authenticity. Sorry, right? It's really really authentic. Like when you look at the show, it really does look like it is 1920s Shanghai, right, or China. And then if you look at the script and the details in the script, it's just like every single minor thing that they had in the script, from what I can remember, they put into the show. I mean, obviously they cut some stuff out, but that's always show business. But the things that I remember are still in there, and that's really cool.
I think I got time for one more, Isaac. And, ahead of the premiere of Gremlins, Secret of the Mogwai, like, what are you most excited to kind of like, and it's always difficult because we're always dancing around spoilers, but what are you most excited to like tease with the show coming to Max?
There's a lot of really cool people in it, and that's all I can say. A lot of cool roles, a lot of cool people.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's safe to say your family is a straight up Mulan reunion. So
yeah, basically. So
well done. Well, the Gremlins Secret of the Mogwai coming to Max on May 23rd. Isaac, thanks for taking the time to speak with me today.
of course. Thank you.